All right, part 7. First order of business is a new revision on the accessory mounts. We're going to have an alternator mount that is lower, has more clearance, has better belt tension, and we are also going to lower the air conditioner, the compressor. And to do that, we're going to have to relocate the coils by shifting them that way. So we got a bracket for that too. It bolts to there, and then the coils bolt to the 3 standoffs that are there. So there's that relocation bracket installed. I actually have a little bit of a conflict here. The new bracket is in. It lowers the air conditioning. I had to make that cut there. Another change I made is I brought this pulley up a little so we get better wrap around the power steering. Okay, the compressor is in there. Everything worked out. Just barely, but it worked out. Now onto the alternator. I've added a idler pulley for better belt tension and wrap. So that's what the new bracket looks like. Another angle. So put the alternator on. Yeah, we've got this new idler pulley. We've got a good angle on the tensioner. Okay, there it is, fully installed. Now I need to measure and find the correct belt for it. So I got the belt installed. You see we've got more belt wrap on that pulley. All the angles here looking really good. Nothing's interfering. Good wrap around the tensioner and the idler and the alternator. So 96 inches. And the hood shuts now. That was the whole point of all this. So now I feel like I can take this on the highway without the hood flying off. So it's been a week and I've had 0 issues with this accessory setup. No chirping, no squealing from the belts, and I got the correct belt size. So I decided to go and get these manufactured. So I'm going to start selling them individually to people who have the ACE kit or have any other LS swap. These work for any LS swap. So those should be available on the website by the time this video is out. Up next, I've got a new type of engine mount I want to try. It really is the same, except there's one difference. Before, I had the tube welded on the little bracket side, but this time I want to weld the tube on the big bracket side. And the reason is, I think having the tube welded there will give this bracket and this bracket more structure. It'll prevent warping during welding. And also, if we ever need to adjust the height, it's very easy to do but with just these brackets. So I'm going to try that, but I have to make sure that they still fit this way. So I'm done welding, and this is what we got. Now, I got the new engine mounts in. All good. Much easier to install these. And no issues on the driver's side. No real issues on the passenger side either. That went in smoothly. Just one little thing. On the passenger side, I guess the engine mount was a little too high, so I had to put some shims under it. I guess that's why we're still prototyping. I'm gonna lower it by 3/16 of an inch so those shims will not be necessary. Overall though, not that different, but it was easier to install because the bottom bracket, I make it a little bit wider and then it clamps around the bushing so there's no trouble getting that in. I like them. I'm going to make some minor adjustments like the height on the passenger side, and that's final. So the engine mounts are sorted out, everything's buttoned up, and I'm going to send those to production tomorrow. So what's left? Well, a couple of little details. I think what's going to make this kit different is that a lot of the details are going to be sorted out. So there's 2 things I want to focus on. One is the throttle, and the other one is the air intake. Okay, first the throttle. So the LS throttle body you can put your cable right on it, which is very convenient. However, when you press down on the gas pedal, you cannot go full throttle. It's just the throttle body won't open up all the way. And the reason for that is because this wheel has a bigger radius. The attachment point of the cable, the distance between that and the center, is bigger. So you need more throw on your gas pedal to fully open this up. Here's the Land Rover wheel for reference. The Land Rover wheel, the radius is a lot smaller, so you don't need as much pedal throw. The way we're gonna fix that is really easy. I got the final piece. This is the gas pedal extender to get full throttle on an LS. Let me show you how it installs. Step 1, pull forward, disconnect the throttle cable from the pedal. Step 2, we're gonna take our bolt, put it through here, and we're gonna bolt this to the end of the gas pedal. Hopefully you see what I'm doing here, but take this with the bolt. All right, put the bolt through. Take the nut, go behind with the nut. Try not to drop it. Try to thread in the nut back there. Just have to get it to start. Okay, there we go. Okay. Take a 10mm socket with an extension and a 10mm wrench to tighten it down. So just slip the wrench back there. Try to grab the nut with it and go in with our 10mm extension and start tightening. I realize that the focus is no good, but there we go. Now it's focused. See? So I got it there, all tightened down. And now, very simply, pull the cable, slide it in the slot, reinstall it like it was before. If you've got some foam or something that's hanging low, you can trim it, or I found that just pushing it up, it kind of stays up, and make sure you got free of movement of the gas pedal. Looks good, and we're done. Yep, it really is that simple. Now you have full throttle with the LS. And now we have full throttle. So another problem solved. I will put those little doohickeys up for sale on the website for anyone with the ACE kit who might want them. And now on to the intake. So the original airbox lid was coming out this way, kind of at a diagonal. And this lid I modified, cut, and plastic welded back in the day when I did the ACE swap to come out straight that way. And the ACE kit tells you to integrate the old Land Rover mass airflow sensor in here, which reduces the 4-inch intake from the LS down to 3 inches. And for a while I had it plugged in. I had my Rover mass airflow sensor plugged in like that. But lately I've been running with it unplugged, and I have found 0 issues. Actually, I don't think I can tell the difference. Maybe my shifting is even smoother, although it's really hard to tell. So this is a hotly debated topic in the forums. A lot of people say they've left it unplugged or removed it completely, went to 4 inches, and they have no issues whatsoever. Transmission shifts fine, no problem for years. And then some people debate that no, this is here for a reason. We're keeping it because it informs the Rover transmission what shift pressure to use. It uses the mass airflow reading to estimate the engine torque, and it will adjust shift pressure based on that. That is true. However, people also say that if you leave it unplugged, the transmission will run at maximum pressure all the time. And I don't believe that's true. I verified this using this scanner. This Creator Elite has a lot of great features, but it can monitor the transmission control module and gives you live data of what the TCM thinks the engine torque is. What you'll see is that with the MAF plugged in, the estimated torque is a certain value, and when you unplug it, there's still an estimated torque value there. And it's a little bit higher, but it's pretty close. So the transmission, I don't think, is running in high pressure mode. The transmission control module has no idea that the MAF is unplugged. It's getting that estimated torque from the ECU. The ECU is doing the calculation. So what happens is, when you unplug the MAF, the ECU will still estimate the torque of the engine using other values like RPM and throttle position, right? So what we're getting are estimated values. They are slightly different, but they're pretty close. Right? And TCM has no idea any of this is happening. It's just being fed a torque value from the ECU. So then the question becomes, oh, well, what's better? Do we prefer to have the estimated torque with the MAF plugged in and taken into account, or the estimated torque without the MAF? So which one's better? Well, we've changed the engine completely. The engine has a completely different torque curve. So whatever estimate we're getting is wrong anyway. When you unplug the MAF, it estimates the torque a little bit higher. That's probably closer to the truth because this engine has higher torque. That would explain why leaving the MAF unplugged is totally fine. The transmission seems happy. It's still getting estimated torque values. It is not running in high pressure mode at all times. So I think for my kit instructions, I'm going to tell people to get rid of it, because I don't think it's necessary. So I'm going to start working on an intake airbox lid that has a 4-inch outlet here, but otherwise fits exactly the same. Fast forward one day, and I've got something that's looking pretty sleek. It takes 1 day and 5 hours to print one of these, and almost one entire spool of filament. I just got this crate LM7 from Jegs delivered straight into my pickup truck so I can bring it out back. It's a fully rebuilt engine with all the tinware. Even included some gaskets. Really nice stuff. And only $3,000. So this will be our engine for that black disco. This one's got a cracked block. It is otherwise a very nice disco on the inside. So we're gonna swap this, and I'm gonna make a video series, start to finish, on doing the swap, and that will be the companion video to the instructions for the swap kit. So yeah, definitely excited about getting a crate rebuilt engine, because for the last swap, I used a junkyard engine, and I ended up spending $2,000 just going through all the gaskets and sensors. Didn't even take the heads off. It's just gaskets and sensors. Meanwhile, this comes with new gaskets. Right? I'm still going to spend a little bit more overall, but at least I'm going to get something that's fully rebuilt. So, I thought it was worth it. Let's see how it works out. I will tally up all my expenses. All right, 30 hours later and an entire spool of filament. Do we have anything good? Oh. That's looking pretty sleek. So this thing weighs about 2 pounds, not exaggerating. But there's a ton of supports we need to remove, and I think that'll bring it down to 1 pound or so. That was a lot of supports, but everything came off clean. Let's see if it fits. Oh no, I messed up. Oh man. Okay, I'll just cut this off for now, at least to test the rest of the fit. So it doesn't fit quite perfectly. This is good here, but it looks like it's too narrow. It looks good though. I really like the way it looks. And I already lined up with the pipe. Yeah, maybe we should go a little bit to the right. 2 days later, I have an airbox that fits perfectly. There you go. This airbox has been working out great, so by the time this video is posted, this should be up for sale on the website as a separate part. We're going to upgrade the fuel pressure regulator. This is not mandatory, it's optional. The engine runs okay, but the LS expects a higher fuel pressure than the Rover did, so we're going to change the regulator. It's in the fuel pump. To access your fuel pump, you can take out all of the trim to lift up the carpet, or you can do this depending on how much you care about your car. You can cut a square 17 inches from either side, and this bottom is about 11 inches from that edge, and then the size of the square is about 10 inches. It's a 10-inch square. And I've left the top connected so I can just maybe just lift the flap, or I might cut it out of the way so it's just easier. And yeah, if your sunroof's ever leaked, that's how that's supposed to look. If you have the rear jump seats, it's even easier because you have the 2 rails there and you just have to make 2 little cuts to lift the middle flap, and then the rails will cover most of it back. Got it open. Now we have to tap this ring to unscrew it. I'm using a punch and the hammer. So I remember that the last time I tapped this, I actually kind of destroyed everything. So this time I decided to get the tool and wait for it to arrive. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Cut the ring off, everything disconnected, pull this straight up, and I tried to vacuum to get rid of as much dust as possible, but let's see. The regulator is actually right here under the lid, and I think we gotta pop this off. Little retainer ring. There we go. And then there's this retainer right here. There we go. That should drop down now, right? As you can see, the new regulator has a little pipe coming out to the side. That's for a return line. I bent one of the tabs on the retaining ring, and I'm hoping that that's gonna help me out. Okay, yep, that seems to have worked. Alright, now I just have to put the pump back in. Oh yeah, and this thing. Almost forgot. Finally got it. Pump is going back in. Honestly, I'm skeptical if that regulator is even going to make a difference. I guess we'll see. Part isn't easy at all. You gotta press really hard on the pump while trying to catch a thread with the ring. And I'm not getting anywhere. When you've been struggling with something for a while, it's good to do a sanity check. And I found that I had a gasket that was around here, but actually had to be seated in here first. Instead it was getting bunched up over here, but it needs to be seated here. And I bet that's my issue. Now it's going to go in easy peasy. Also added a little bit of silicone paste around the gasket and the pump to help it slide in there. So glad that's over with. It was still not easy to get this back on because it wants to cross thread. I'm going to make a new one of these out of thicker aluminum so it doesn't rust again. And I'll put some up on my website, because why not? I'm sure I'm not the only one with a big rusty one like that. So I just came back from a drive. Did it make a difference? I'm not entirely sure. I want to say that maybe I got a 5% boost in low-end torque, but it was not a night and day difference. At least on this stock 5.3 with 200,000 miles. I don't think it was really worth the hassle. Honestly, even going to the 4-inch intake and removing the rover map didn't make that big of a difference. So, but definitely no regrets. I love the way it looks, and it's a lot more elegant and simpler than before. For those who want to try it, there's the part number, PR401. Well, that might be it. I think I've made all the parts I wanted to make for this kit. Everything is either in production or already posted on the website. I'm gonna put that gas pedal extender thing on the website for anyone with the Ace kit who might need it. Let's see, the accessory mounts are already on the website. The airbox is on the website. The transmission adapters are in production. It should be another 3 weeks. The engine mounts are in production. That might take 4 to 6 weeks, so that's going to be the longest one. And that's it. I mean, we're at the finish line here. The kit should be out in November for a group of beta testers. So make sure if you want to be a beta tester or you just want to stay up to date, make sure you sign up for updates on our website, goldenrovers.com/lsswap. This is the end of the making of series, at least for now. But the good news, I'm starting another series immediately after this one. We've got a LM7 crate engine, and I'm going to perform a Discovery 2 swap from start to finish, showing you every single detail and every single step on video. So with that, thank you so much for watching the series. I've been enjoying my LS Swap Discovery 2 very much, and I can't wait for you guys to do the same. See you in the next video.